In today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching how to paint this beginner watercolor tree. It's a perfect little tree to incorporate in your landscape practice. Without further ado, let's get painting. For today's tutorial, I'm using Prussian Blue, VanDyke Brown, and Sap Green. I have my notepad here. That's a watercolor notepad and it's 7 by 10 inches. And then I'm just going to be using one brush today. I've got my size 6 round Princeton brush. To get started, I am going to start with our trunk using VanDyke Brown. And I'm going to start a couple inches from the bottom of the page, just in the center here. I'm going to start with a slightly thick line, just like so. And the bottom base is just slightly wider than the rest of the trunk. And I'm just going to do just a couple inches like this. And then from here, I'm going to add a couple branches. One is going to go off towards the left. And then alongside these branches, I'm going to add a little branch stemming off towards the right, one coming off towards the left, and then a third one kind of angled off towards the left as well. Then from here, I'm going to do another angled brush, that's interesting, branch. And this one is slightly taller. And then off of that, I'm going to do a second branch coming off there towards the right. And then another little branch kind of off towards the right as well, stemming off of there. And then a second little dash kind of just right above. Then from here, I'm going to leave a gap, and I'm just going to do kind of a Y letter, kind of angled, just like so. And then from here, I want to take some watered down sap green, so just a lighter value by using a lot of water. And I want to start just by adding texture with my brush. I'm just tapping using the belly of my brush at a side angle. And I'm leaving some intentional white gaps as well through the foliage of the trees. So maybe this side here has a little bit of an area that kind of jets out towards the left. And then from here, I'm just going to do a little bit more texture and more like a rounded shape, like almost like a slight cone shape. So right here, that's the tip of our cone, kind of laid out loosely. And again, I'm adding a lot of water to my sap green to get these lighter values of the color. And then I'm just going to continue my way down. Have kind of a rounded shape towards the right. Again, using plenty of water to get this looser value or looser look and value to our green. I'm gonna also just extend this side just a bit more and a little bit down below here just to balance out our tree. And then from here, I just want to fill this tree in a little bit. Again, just using our green. I'm going to paint over some of this branch here, so I'm just going to use a little bit of texture and kind of a lot of pressure just to kind of lift some of that brown slightly. Okay, so I'm gonna lower that a bit. Top is barely showing there. Okay, so from here, I am just going to take my brush and mix up a little bit of a fancier green. So I'm gonna take Sap Green and mix in some Prussian Blue. And while my tree is still wet, I want to apply some of this really just deep, moody, cool toned green and kind of layer it in a few areas, just like so. And I'm just kind of tapping with my brush and just achieving that texture with tapping it. And you can always add some more blue as needed with your green if you want an even deeper tone of shaded color. I'm going to add some towards the right, kind of tap a little bit on top of some of this lighter green. Again, keeping it super simple and really loose. Then over towards the right, I'm going to add a little bit more. I already need to mix a little bit more of my green, my shaded green. Okay, and then I'm just going to add some more over towards the right. It's okay to layer a little bit on the branches as well, no big deal. And I'm just going to add a touch of it over here as well, just underneath. And maybe just a little bit up here. Okay, and the last step is going to be adding just a little bit more detail to the base of our trunk. And for that, I'm just going to add a little bit of more texture with our brush. Just want a little bit more color to our trunk here. And I'm gonna lift a little bit of the pigment on the left side. So I'm just gonna take a dry, clean brush and just lift a little bit of that up. That way we have a little bit of a highlight. And then on the right side, I'm gonna add a little bit of a deeper concentration of the VanDyke Brown. And then from here, I just want to kind of repaint in a little bit of our branches here that kind of got a little lost. So I'm just going to add a little bit of some of the VanDyke Brown in here. just to incorporate it. And then from here, I just want to add in a little bit of more detail, just adding a few dashes of the VanDyke Brown here and there, just to give a little bit more detail to some thinner and daintier branches that are incorporated into the tree. So I'm just doing a few of these simple little dashes. It's okay if they kind of disappear into the greenery. That way we have a little bit more detail that's super loose and simple. I hope that you enjoyed this beginner watercolor tree tutorial. It's such a fun one just to practice foundational technique when painting landscapes. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any further watercolor tutorials.